Hello, everyone, and welcome to Horizen Weekly Insider number 136. Today is Monday, May 16th. We are live on Discord and YouTube, and thank you all for joining us. Please be aware that this call is being recorded and will be available for you all to check out later on our Horizen podcast. Please also remember to ask the questions that you have to our team on Menti. The link will be provided in chat soon. Today, we are also going to be having a very special airdrop for you all joining the call. We'll be sharing a short Google form for you all to fill out to claim the airdrop soon. So take a look in chat. You should see that very soon. And let's go ahead and we'll start off our first update with the engineering department. Welcome, Alberto.
Hello, and thank you. Okay, first of all, I would like to start by saying that this has been an amazing week because we had the opportunity to host many of the team members here in Milan and to meet them in person again after some time. For some of them, it was even the first time meeting in person, and it was a pleasure. We had a lot of sessions, deep dives, and more, so really happy about that. Okay, now switching to the update and starting with Zedu. As we already discussed last week, we made some changes to the Rust libraries used by ZenD to handle sidechain snark proofs. And during the code review, we identified some very specific things that required additional analysis before proceeding, and such analysis is currently in progress. Moreover, we have been working on the issue for the WebSocket interface, where the client seems to not be notified about some intermediate events in case of forks. And the code has been already identified, and there is a draft request for addressing this. And next steps will be the code review. Okay, always regarding ZenD, we are also planning to extend the design of Zendu in order to be more efficient for managing sidechains whose use cases don't require full decentralization. You have to consider that our design has been done having in mind a full decentralized sidechain system, but there are some use cases that don't require it and don't require full decentralization, and so some of the functionalities are not needed. So let me say, we started from the most complex scenario, and now we are, revisiting the protocol in order also to address the semi-decentralized scenarios. Okay, other big area of focus for last week was the SDK, and in particular for what regards Blaze, we have finished the development of the OpenStake transaction, and now the code review process is in progress. The first level of code review is almost done, and just a few change requests have been left so far. Then, for what concerns the sidechain backup mechanism, we finished applying all the change requests, and another iteration of review was performed. So this is done. Another thing always related to the SDK that we also mentioned last week was the API that was somehow not responding during the node synchronization phase. And this was a known corner case that we have been fixing last week, and now the first level of code review is in progress. For what regards the improved support of custom box proposition in the wallet, the implementation is now done and the review is scheduled. And among the other various things, we are also working on more node connectivity improvements. So that's all about Blaze. And on the other hand, for what regards the EVM sidechain, I had an additional iteration on the design with Alexander, and we identified a path that is going to speed up the development and at the same time is allowing sidechains that are not EVM based to be ready for Ethereum tools compatibility out of the box. The detailed plan is currently being updated, and we plan to accomplish it within the next few days. In any case, the EVM sidechain development is already in progress and keep going on. And for what regards the already identified tasks, and in particular, for example, we are working on the ATH transaction with support of Ethereum crypto primitives. Okay, last but not least, on the proving system side, we synchronized the pull request introducing the gadgets for small integer arithmetics and the comparison of field elements with the main development branch, with the aim of integrating such features in the next release. And moreover, we started the implementation of the verifier gadget for the TD log accumulator modeling. And in parallel, we are conducting an extensive research on additional approaches for proving sidechain execution in a more developer-friendly way. And this is an important task, but we will keep you posted on this in the next weeks. So these were the main points for today. Back to you.
Thank you, Alberto. And now for Vano for BD and operations updates.
Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We have a bit bigger BD update today where we'll be providing a recap of what we have done so far in 2022 for Horizen ecosystem and what are in the pipeline as well. And also, you will hear Horizen Labs BD updates from Rohan today because HL is the largest contributor in our ecosystem, and some of the things that HL is doing are super relevant for larger Horizen ecosystem as well. So yeah, what we achieved so far in 2022, starting from exchanges, although centralized, we got our first AMM integration this year with the Binance Liquid Swap. It was important because for the first time, this allowed to have a DeFi-like experience, decentralized exchange-like experience for Zen, and also it allowed smaller Zen holders to provide liquidity and earn rewards. We also expanded our set of US regulated exchanges with OKCoin in January. Also, one of the notable integrations were Voyager as well, which is the largest retail crypto application offering like exchange, fiat on-ramp, and wallet services to our users. It has been a very good integration for us, dropping the accessibility hurdles for them. This spring, we also have seen a new product from Binance called Bifinity, which is their fiat on-ramp and point of sale product offering, and then got listed in the first batch of around 50 cryptocurrencies there in March, which also was a big achievement. Apart from that, we got also a new set of multi-coin exchanges, Let's Exchange.io, Cryptomat.io, which also offers fiat on-ramp services, and Flip.me, which has a notable like full node integration, supporting shielded transactions as well on the receiving end. And as for planned integrations, obviously, like we cannot name exact names, we cannot reveal them ahead of time, but we are working obviously to improve Zen accessibility on regulated exchanges, and towards the end of like in the second half of the year, yeah, we should have more integrations coming on that front. We are also working to have Zen integrated in custody, lending, borrowing platforms, obviously, to have more mining pools on our side and also analytics services. So 2022, yeah, will be, I think, very good for Zen. And now I will pass it to Rohan for HL side updates.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for that, Wano. So just in terms of updates from Horizen Labs, just structure it into 3 different categories. So one is the development so far in Horizen Labs, things that are currently in pipeline and things we are about to go live with. And also, how does this all speak to the broader growth of Horizen Labs and how it integrates with the broader Horizen ecosystem? So quickly on things that I've achieved so far. So first off, from the team expansion side of the house, right? So back when in in January, we were a team of 4. At this point, we have expanded to a team of 11 full-time individuals. And that is obviously coming on the back of the heels of the fact that we have been producing and results and working with top-notch partners within the ecosystem. As a result, we have hired a token strategist who's working closely with our partners, helping think through the tokenomics piece and how to do financial modeling and valuation for various projects. So we bring on only quality projects. We also have another BD manager who's soon to start by the end of this month to continue to keep up pace with the projects that we are working with. And on the project side of the house, we continuously add top NFT projects that are looking to launch their fungible tokens, but also other unique projects within the gaming universe, within music industry, within metaverse. So we are continuously expanding and collaborating with projects and ventures, both in Web3 native space, as well as companies and projects that are looking to enter the space, or what we call Web3 curious. So quickly on the pipeline piece, so there are a few interesting things that are happening. So more closely, we have 11, who's our partner for the past few months. We've been working very closely. We'll be launching the 11 NFT crypto next week. So we are super excited. The team's been heads down thinking through the strategic aspects, and the product and tech team has been busy supporting the smart contract development and eventually the mint that happens next week. So we have two other fungible token launch projects that I can disclose without spilling any beans. One is Gutter Labs. So Gutter Labs is creators of really cool collection of NFT projects, including Gutter Cats, Gutter Dog, Gutter Pigeons. They have 8.3K unique holders, and we'll be helping them launch their fungible token. So this should come towards the end of this summer. And the other interesting project is Knights of Degen, which is essentially a community of Degens, as they like to call themselves, building sports and entertainment kingdom within the metaverse. And we are also finding unique ways to help them set up their DAO as well as launch their fungible token. So very unique space for us to be involved in. And those are the two that I can only disclose. There are a few other in works currently, which has not gone public, but would love to disclose it all to you as soon as I can. But with that being said, there are 20 other projects in the pipeline across the board. We're working with some gaming studios. As I mentioned, we're looking into music industry with working with top-notch NFT projects. The top metaverse players we are starting to embed and initiate the conversations with, because there's so much going on, especially around with the ApeCoin launch, as well as the other side or the other land drops of the NFTs. So there's so much going on there. And also on the non-commercial side of the house, where we're working with some of the launchpad platforms, which will allow us to catapult us and leverage our ecosystem as and when it's needed. Now, all of this to say that we're working towards what we call ecosystem of ecosystem, right? Which means while we are working on helping build these projects on other chains, for example, ApeCoin was an ERC20 token, we want to bring them eventually all within the Horizen ecosystem. And we are starting to take steps towards that, right? So when our EVM is ready, the hope is all of these projects that we are currently working with and are in our pipeline will port over into our ecosystem. So the long goal here is always to start making these initial inroads into the top projects within the ecosystem. And as and when our ecosystem is ready, we can tap into that and bring them in-house, right? And as you know, the goal of Web3 at large is to have an open and collaborative ecosystem. So Horizen Labs' goal is to continue to help foster and grow this ecosystem, where we're not only helping build these projects in silos, but finding opportunities within to cross-collaborate, right? So a Gutter Cat gang, say, potentially working with some of the other projects like a Knights of Degen, or any other gaming project working within our other metaverse projects. The goal is to start cross-pollinating and cross-collaborating, and we have a very clear vision in helping bring all of these projects that we are working with into the Horizen ecosystem when we are ready to do that. So those are kind of the three broad bucket items I wanted to touch base on. I'll pass it back to Erica for the next.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rohan. Very exciting stuff. Next, we'll have Lucy on for marketing updates.
Thank you, Erica. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome all the new listeners. So we completed 3 rounds of test Zenny airdrops so far, and I can see that we have some of our test pilots here. Welcome and congratulations. So the next step is to make sure that you have plenty of testZen in your Kobo wallet, because you will need testZen to pay for the gas fee to make transactions on your Kobo wallet. And also, you will need testnet to pay to create a token using our token generator, which is coming very, very soon on Token Mint. So with the token generator, you can very easily and quickly create and mint your own token. So it's very important that you have testnet on your Cobalt wallet. So you can get free testnet from a faucet on our Heap website. That is heap.horizen.io. We have a step-by-step tutorial for you on how to get testnet and send it to your Cobalt wallet. So you can find the tutorial on our blog and on our YouTube channel as well. So just as a security reminder, for testnet activities, please only use testnet and testnet. Do not send real Zen to a testnet Sphere wallet or testnet Cobalt wallet. That will cause you to lose your Zen. So be very careful. Testnet tokens only for testnet. And for testnet, there's still ways you can get free testnet. We'll be doing more airdrops and giveaways. Just like right now, we are collecting addresses from our weekly insider listeners for a testnet airdrop later on. We will also be rewarding people who provide us feedback after using Token Mint. Basically, the more things you do in the Horizen community and use our platform, the more ways you can get free testnet. So we'll share more ways for you to earn testnet now. Now that you have a whole bunch of testnet, so what can you do with it? Actually, a lot. We will post a list of testnet perks, things you can redeem for with your testnet, including some cool crypto swag and special access to more future airdrops. So stay tuned. And lastly, Vano is doing a Twitter space with our partner NowNode this Thursday at 4 p.m. UTC. So as you already know, most of you already know that Horizen has the largest node network in crypto, in blockchain. So our relationship with node management services like NowNodes are very important. So this time they will talk about how NowNodes can support the Zen community, especially the ones that hold Zen nodes. So if this is the first time you've heard about Zen nodes, so I strongly recommend that you learn about it on our website. That's horizen.io/Zen nodes. It's a very rewarding way to put your Zen to work. Zen node operators help contribute to the decentralization and the security of the Horizen network. And in return, they will be rewarded with node rewards. So check it out. That's it from me. Back to you, Erica.
Thank you, Lucy. And now for Victor for the product and engineering updates.
Thanks, Erica. First of all, we have ZK audit. There is a small update about that. We are rebasing the new deployment we are about to make on Blaze on the newest version of it, 0.33, that is not yet available because we went through a hotfix a couple of weeks ago and we were waiting for a proper release to deploy it. And the deploy is scheduled by the end of this week. A part of the ZK audit, we have an update on the EVM. As Alberto was saying before, there was a little of improvement on the design that we have made because having an internal confrontation, we have cleared up that our first goal is to deliver as soon as possible this EVM, and as soon as possible it has to be real. It has to be testable in testnet as soon as possible. And so given that we have focused on speed. What we are aiming apart from speed is usability and interoperability. So this EVM should be ready to deploy existing contracts from other platforms, such as, for example, Ethereum. So the first thing we will ask once we have something in testnet will be to port over your contracts and test them and test the EVM sidechain with that. So one thing that maybe I said last week too soon is that we are concentrating our efforts in making the interface the same of an Ethereum node, so that all the functions that enable wallet like MetaMask to be used on other networks are there. So we are starting from the day one we have in testnet. These core functionalities will be there. So the first functions available in testnet will be the ones that allow a wallet like MetaMask to work on other networks. And that's all for today. I leave the word to Angie. Bye.
Thank you so much.
I was going to say, and now we'll bring on Angie. So go ahead, Angie. Sorry about that.
Thanks, Erica. And hey, everybody. All right. So regarding a token mint project update. So as some of you or mostly all of you know, token mint is out there on testnet. You can download Cobalt now and just play around with our block explorer. We are continuing working on the final test for the token generator, which is coming in the next few days for its release on testnet. So we're also working on improvements to the user interface of Cobalt that are now being finalized and will also be available in the next release as well. On a side note, last May 11, Block Explorer was getting around 3,000 requests in a short period of time from several IPs. And this basically caused every rate limiting to be ineffective, basically sending a lot of API calls to the Block Explorer get. Fortunately, our team responded right away, and we have been implementing optimizations for load management ever since. And lastly, we also continue moving forward in full speed with our token mint version number 2, which is in the works. And this includes the NFT implementations to our platform. So definitely a lot of exciting things coming up. And that's it for now. Thank you so much. Back to you, Erica.
Thank you, Angie. And now to Rosario for a special team update.
Hi guys, I love hearing about the tech updates, the BD updates, and marketing updates. Great to hear all the progress going there. I'd like to introduce Giacomo to our team. So he's our newest technical project manager. Giacomo, would you like to introduce yourself to our community?
Yeah, thank you, Rosario. And just like to say hello to everyone. As Rosario said, I joined today Horizen Labs as technical project manager. And just to give you a brief introduction of myself, I started my professional career as a developer for a Java-based web application as a full-stack developer. Then acted as tech team lead and then as a project manager in the food and beverage industry. Yeah, just started today. Happy to be here. Excited and great. Have a nice week.
Thank you, Giacomo. We're super excited to have you on board and helping us deliver things to our community. Welcome to the team. Back to you, Erica.
Thank you, and welcome to the team, Giacomo. So I'd like to remind everybody to send in their votes on Mentee for the questions, and we will now welcome Rob for the leadership updates and Q&A session.
Thank you, Erica, and thank you, everyone. What an intense weekly insider. This is supposed to be just a weekly update for you guys on what's going on, and it seems like it's just getting bigger and bigger. So yes, as Alberto mentioned, we had a pretty intense week in Milan this last week. And for me in particular, I focused on a few key items. So one, it coincided with an operations team offsite. So that was one of the main reasons I went out there as well. And it's just absolutely critical making sure that our operations are as good as they possibly can be and constantly getting better. Operations include everything like accounting, finance, people operations, which deals with how we attract, retain, recruit, onboard, and make people efficient, effective, and grow in the roles. So obviously really key to what we do, and it enables everything else. Two, technical strategy. So this was a really, I would say, critical meeting, even though we have lots of technical conversations. You guys hear about all of them. This one was really important because we have a lot going on, and as an ecosystem, we're in the middle of delivering something. We're in the middle of building something else really important, like the EVM. And we also have an R&D team that's really been powering forward on some key research. For instance, like how to build the proving system that we need to do whatever we think we need to do. And deciding what we think we need to do is absolutely critical, because we have to set a North Star as an organization. And setting a North Star is always really tough. And by the way, it can change for sure. But we've been around for a while. So this is like a 5-year organization for us, starting off as a Zcash-like cryptocurrency to getting to the point where we are now, which is absolutely fantastic. And the fact we're actually delivering stuff now, like the ability to do tokens and soon NFTs and an EVM, absolutely critical. But is that what we're all about? Or are we building something bigger because we have a very intensely competitive industry that we're part of, and we really need to think carefully about our place in that industry? And going back to this age-old conversation that I often have with you guys of why do we exist? So the North Star that we converged on last week was basically just a restatement of the direction we've been on anyway, which is why this wasn't kind of like an intense annual strategy rebaseline or anything. This is basically clarifying what we've been doing and just making it much more clear for us, for everyone, for you. And that clarity is, we believe the future for blockchain is in the provability domain. Now, that sounds ridiculously abstract, right? What do I mean by provability? Well, provability meaning, provability that can manifest in a bunch of different ways, but knowing that when some operation executes on our platform in our public blockchain space, you can have high confidence that that transaction executed properly. So you don't have to have the same types of fears of, say, bridges being hijacked by 51% attacks or exploited and funds disappearing. A lot of the big problems that we have in this space today, but actually constructing systems and originally thinking in terms of circuits with our Lattice product, and now, interestingly, refined into thinking, let's just go for the gold on this one. Let's go for the ZK EVM, the zero-knowledge enabled Ethereum virtual machine. So there are some really good reasons to do this, but I think focus is probably the most important one. So if this thesis of provability is important, and provability is critical for scale, and scale that doesn't compromise on security. So other projects that are out there that, by the way, are very successful in their own right, so we're not trying to discount them at all, and we really need to deep dive on validating our assumptions. But provability here means that we can actually have completely decentralized, permissionless scaling chains, or a system that scales. So, this is what Zendu was all about. This is what the Lattice product was all about, so that we can actually spin up chains and have like a blockchain of blockchains ecosystem, one where you don't have to rely on trusted validators. And then one could challenge that and say, that's cool and everything, but then this token mint launch is actually trusting validators. And this EVM that we're building is about trusting validators. Now, there's a reason for that, because we want to go to market quickly, and because we just need to demo and deploy certain key capabilities while we build towards that holy grail of our industry. And that holy grail of our industry is unprovability. And this is why you have our competitor projects, like now Polygon has emerged as probably one of the fiercest dominant competitors in the ZK space. You have ZK Sync, you've got Starkware, you've got others that have been building out significant capabilities for scalability without compromising security. You can say that our industry has advanced significantly, and the fact that we've deployed DeFi and NFTs and some other interesting smart contract use cases is huge. But I would still argue that we're at the infancy of this industry's growth. And if we're going to get out there and really solve real problems in the real world, we need scale. And we need scale that doesn't compromise security. And this is why we're focusing very much on the ZK EVM concept. So the third reason that I was out there was we're going through this technical team transformation where we're migrating to just agile methods for doing things and organizing groups and so forth. So that was kind of an administrative thing that's absolutely critical, but I can report that everything seems to be exactly on track. So going back to this North Star concept, they're great, but you don't want to bank your entire future on one single hypothesis, right? As an organization, as an ecosystem, the cool thing about the strategy that we have is that even if we bake in the ZK EVM as our North Star. This is that big goal that some of the biggest players are trying to solve. We have a variety of short and medium term deliveries that are absolutely key, like token mint right now in process of delivery. And what it does for us, besides the ability to mint fungible and soon non-fungible tokens, which is critical, it battle tested our SDK, which led to many improvements already, and it got us much better at delivering. Right, so it's in process now. We've delivered to testnet. We're in process of scheduling the mainnet delivery, but still delivery is delivery, and we must get much better at it as an organization. The second thing that we're doing, this EVM integration, is a solid precursor to the ZK EVM for obvious reasons, because if we're going to integrate a ZK EVM, it pays to have experience integrating an EVM, but it has many short and medium-term benefits. It opens up our ecosystem to the EVM world, which we cannot understate the importance of, tools, compatibility, opening smart contracting deployments, and so forth, while we keep pushing forward on the ZK EVM. So the community at this point can just build and deploy their own smart contracts. This is a key difference for our ecosystem, for Horizen. As soon as this EVM goes live, compared to our entire history up until that point, where it was Horizen Labs, ZBF, the foundation, or select key design partners that were building with us, this means that anyone in the world who is comfortable with deploying in Ethereum or all the other EVMs can deploy with us on their own and not require any of our support. This is the key thing. And while that's going on, our R&D team is just powering forward on a key streamlined, more focused R&D path. So one that might even lead us to make decisions like abandoning, or let's not say abandoning, but maybe retiring our darling proving system development, where we were actually inventing our own proving system. Number one, because a proving system that was sufficient for our needs didn't exist previously, it wasn't available. And now, we've learned a lot from it, and now we're more flexible and understanding of the rest of the marketplace. So we might actually pivot to something like Plunky 2. And you've heard conversation about this in the previous months. We've been evaluating it, and it might make sense, or something similar like that. On the BD side, there's just a ton going on. You heard from Vano, you heard from Rohan. So thanks, guys. This was actually in response to Michael from Australia providing some feedback that we talk about some BD deals, or we have in the past, and we haven't followed through on those conversations. So the TLDR, guys, is we've built a ridiculous BD team in the ecosystem. That's something for us to be proud of, and it's a powerful tool for us to actually get some market dominance going forward as we roll out our platforms. One, we've brought on some just degens in key app areas like NFTs, DeFi, and so forth. So we have a much better pulse on the market than we had previously. We're working with some of the biggest brands in the industry, like Yuga, Bored Ape Yacht Club. You heard about Gutter Labs. And we use it as an opportunity for short-term wins, especially launching ApeCoin was a really big one, working on the land title, smart contract for the other side metaverse deployment was absolutely huge for us. And just a couple of things to note, guys. So one, healthy orgs need to know what to work on, but also more importantly, what not to work on. And we get this by working with a lot of other people out there. So we may have had some BD deals in the pipeline a year ago, 2 years ago, that we've just stopped working on because we've divested ourselves of them because they just don't make sense for us anymore. It doesn't make sense when we're working towards an EVM or an Ethereum compatible world, and when we have partners like the Bored Ape Yacht Club. It doesn't make sense to keep some of these smaller deals that we had on the pipeline that just really weren't consistent with that, but would soak up a bunch of our resources. Note number two, Horizen Labs is one of the biggest landholders in the Ape Metaverse, guys. So just think about that. And right now we're thinking through some deep strategy on what we're going to do with it and how this is going to benefit the Horizen ecosystem. Note number three, Horizen Labs is one of the top companies in Web3 now. And it can't hurt Horizen when the company that is one of the hottest in Web3 is obsessed with building Horizen as one of the dominant ecosystems in the world. Doesn't hurt, right? So we have a lot going for us. You've heard from Angie, you've heard from Victor. We're in process of delivering on Token Mint. The token generator app should be going live for you guys on testnet, I don't know, in a day or two, unless I missed another update that mentions it earlier. So that's really cool. It's our first D app where you'll be able to log in with your wallet and mint tokens easily. And now we're getting ready for Token Mint on mainnet. Again, deployment is key, and getting good at deploying is what we need to do, and we're doing that. And I want to conclude here, guys, since we're over, and I tend to do this, but don't kill me, anyone on the ops team or anyone else for me saying this, but one of the conversations we had in Milan was we're doing a team meeting in September, and then we thought, why don't we make this ZenCon 0? Why don't we make this the first open conference for our community and ecosystem? So more details to come on that one, but this would not be your typical conference. This would be more like open working sessions for the community to contribute, participate in, and for us to really just open it up, product demos, technology, lectures, and just really fun, interesting stuff. And why not just meet each other? All right, we've been working together as a community for 5 years now. We might as well have our first important event. It just makes sense, I think, especially as we're marching towards this EVM, and it would be super cool if we can get this thing, at least the milestone 1, delivered pre-ZenCon 0. It gives us a little bit of a kick in the butt to do it as well. That's what I've got, guys, and let's see if we have any interesting Q&A.
Thank you, Rob. So for our first question today is, what lessons can Horizen learn from the recent situation with Luna?
Yeah, I'll tell you, as an economist, you typically don't want to pair reserves for some sort of asset in a different foreign exchange currency. Not a good idea. Or just a mismatch on reserves to an underlying, it could be a problem. And this is absolutely key for how we think about stablecoins going forward. Horizen is going to have a bunch of stablecoins. That's just a fact, right? As we roll out the EVM, we'll have stablecoins that are one-for-one backed. Like USDC. You'll have other stable coins that are algorithmically backed. Something like the Terra here. There's another interesting one called Frax that we've been tracking quite closely. These are stable coins that have an underlying basket of digital asset reserves to back the stable peg. Now, whenever you have reserves that are just exchange rate different or volatile from the underlying asset that you're trying to back, you can have problems, and there are different ways of dealing with the problems, and some are better than others. So we're definitely taking note, and as we roll out like algo stable coins in Horizen, like some will come from Horizen Labs potentially, others will just come from the community, and because we're an open system, we're not going to be able to stop that. I don't think we want to stop it, but kind of a caveat emptor situation certainly applies here, where there's more credibility for certain types of stablecoins issued by certain types of organizations or on certain types of smart contracts that people should at least be aware. And I can tell you one thing: the foundation will make it a priority to educate people, make sure that we can at least provide information to our community so you kind of know what's out there, at least to the best extent that we can. Oh yeah, maybe ZK Audit can actually help out there. Great suggestion.
Thank you, Rob. And what can I do with my test Zenny?
Well, I think Lucy's the T-Zenny master there. So she's got interesting program out there for people to benefit, everything from getting swag to early access to some things. And maybe we could even do something with ZenCon 0. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
That's right, Rob. I mean, although as much as I like to take all the credits for testnet, but no, I'm not the only master. The Horizen marketing team, Erica and Andrew, they're the true master behind testnet, and also all the perks that will come with it. Like you just said, we will have perks for testnet. So, as much testnet that you have now, more cool stuff that you can have later on. And very soon, I think later today, Erica will post a list of testnet perks. You can immediately get cool things like Horizen swag. And if you want to hold on to it a little bit longer, you can get exclusive access to future airdrops as well. And I love the idea for future utility for ZenCon conference events. That's awesome. We're definitely looking into it.
And I can confirm that I will be sharing that list later on our blog. And third and final question is, when can we expect a Horizen product that will differentiate itself from the rest?
That's a great question. I mean, TBD, you could say that maybe token generator, making tokenization much easier, might be our first foray in that direction, even though it's extremely simplistic, at least in function. I mean, not saying the back end is. But I don't know, this is something that we really need to think about, because we've been in this kind of catching up on the basics mode of tokenization, NFTs, and now an EVM. But Horizen Labs is really thinking carefully and building out a solid product organization that is thinking about this. Like, what's that taxonomy of Web3 products that might be interesting that leverage our strengths that we can deploy in Horizen and just be completely unique to anyone else? More TBD on that. So I don't have any product announcements for you that aren't part of the baseline that we're already working on, but we're certainly thinking about it as an org. So that's a great question.
Amazing. Well, that is it, everybody, for today's Weekly Insider. We appreciate you all joining. If you did not have a chance to fill out the Google form for your Test Zenny airdrop, we will post the link one more time in chat before closing it. And we will see you again next Monday for the latest Horizen updates. Have a wonderful week, everybody. Bye.